Ugh! Protecto totalum, Salvio Hexia, that treacherous old bleeder. Hermione, you're a genius, a total genius. I can't believe we got out of that. Cave inocumen. Ugh, didn't I say it wasn't a Rumprenhorn? Didn't I tell him? And now his house has been blown apart. Serves him right. What do you reckon they'll do to him? I hope they don't kill him. That's why I wanted the Death Eaters to get a glimpse of Harry before we left, so they knew Xenophilius hadn't been lying. Why hide me, though? You're supposed to be in bed with Spattergroint, Ron. They've kidnapped Luna because of her father supported Harry. What would happen to your family if they knew you're with him? But what about your mum and dad? They're in Australia. They should be all right. They don't know anything. You're a genius. Yeah, you are, Hermione. I don't know what we'd do without you. What about Luna? Well, if he's telling the truth, and she's still alive... Don't say that! Oh, don't say that! She must be alive. She must! Then she'll be in Azkaban, I expect. Whether she survives the place, though. Loads don't. She will. She's tough, that Luna. Much tougher than you'd think. She's probably teaching all the inmates about Raskspurts and Noggles. I hope you're right. I feel so sorry for Xenophilius if he hadn't tried to kill us and sell us to the Death Eaters. Yeah. Oh, why did we go there? Harry, you were right. It's Godric's Hollow all over again. A complete waste of time. The Death Eaters, such rubbish, although actually, he might have made it up all. Mightn't he? He probably doesn't believe in the Deathly Hallows at all. He just wanted to keep us talking until the Death Eaters arrived. I don't think so. It's a sight harder making stuff up when you're under stress than you think. I found that out when the Snatchers caught me. It was much easier pretending to be Stan because I knew a bit about him than inventing up a whole new person. Lovegood was under loads of pressure trying to make sure we stayed put. I reckon he told us the truth, or what he believes is the truth anyway, just to keep us talking. Well, I don't suppose it matters. Even if he was being honest, I never heard such a lot of nonsense in all my life. Hang on, though. The Chamber of Secrets was supposed to be a myth, wasn't it? But the Deathly Hallows can't exist, Ron. You keep saying that, but one of them can. Harry's invisibility cloak. The Tale of the Three Brothers is a story. A story how about humans are frightened of death. If surviving was as simple as hiding under an invisibility cloak, we'd have everything we need already. I don't know. I could do with an unbeatable wand. There's no such thing, Harry. You said there'd been loads of wands. The Death Stick and whatever they're called. All right, even if you want to kid yourself the Elder One's real, what about the Resurrection Stone? No magic can raise the dead, and that's that. Well, my wand connected with you-know-who's. It made my mum and dad appear. And Cedric. But they weren't really back from the dead, were they? Those kinds of pale imitations aren't the same as truly bringing someone back to life. But the girl in the tale didn't really come back, did she? The story says that once people are dead, they belong with the dead. But the second brother still got to see her and talk to her, didn't she? And even lived for her for a little while. So that Peveril bloke who's buried in Godric's Hollow, you don't know anything about him then? No. I looked him up after I saw the mark on his grave. If he'd been anyone famous or done anything important, I'm sure he'd be in one of our books. The only place I've managed to find the name Peveril is in Nature's Nobility, a wizarding genealogy. I borrowed it from Creature. He lists the pure-blood families that are now extinct in the male line, and apparently the Perivals were one of the earliest families to vanish. Extinct in the male line. It means the names died out, centuries ago, in case of the Perivals. They should still have descendants, though. They'd just be called something different. Peveril. Mavologaunt! What? Sorry? Mavologaunt. Mavologaunt! You know whose grandfather, in the Pensieve, with Dumbledore. Mavologaunt said he was descended from the Peverils. The ring. The ring that became the Horcrux. Mavologaunt said it had been the Peverils' coat of arms on it. I saw him waving it in the bloke from the Ministry's face. He nearly showed up his nose. The Peveril coat of arms? Couldn't you see what it looked like? Not really. There was nothing fancy on it as far as I could see. Maybe a few scratches. I only ever really saw it close up when it had been cracked open. Blimey, do you reckon it was the sign again? The sign of the Hallows? Why not? Marvolo Gunt was an ignorant old git who lived like a pig. All he cared about was his ancestry, and if that ring had been passed down through the centuries, he might not have known what it really was. I mean, there were no books in the house, and trust me, he wasn't the type to read fairy tales to his kids. He'd love to think the scratches on his stone were a coat of arms, because as far as he was concerned, having pureblood made you practically royal. Yes, and that's all very interesting, but Harry, you're not thinking of what I think you're thinking. Well, why not? Why not? It's a stone, isn't it? What if it was the resurrection stone? Blimey. But would it still work if Dumbledore broke... Work? Ron, it never did work. There's no such thing as a resurrection stone. Harry, you're trying to fit everything into the Hallows story. Fit everything in? Hermione, it fits on its own accord. I know the sign of the Deathly Hallows was on that stone. Gaunt said he was descended from the Peverils. A minute ago you had just said that the mark on the stone, you never saw it properly. Where do you reckon the ring is now? What did Dumbledore do with it after he broke it open? Harry? Dumbledore had my cloak the night my parents died. What? My mum told Sirius that Dumbledore borrowed the cloak. This is why. He wanted to examine it. He wanted to see that if it was the third Hallow. Ignatius Peril is buried in Godric's Hollow. He's my ancestor. I'm descended from the third brother. It all makes sense. Harry. Read it. Read it. Dumbledore had the cloak, Hermione. Why else would he want it? He didn't need a cloak. He could perform disillusionment charms so powerful that he made himself completely invisible to anyone. It's in here! It's here! He left me the ring. It's in the snitch. Do you reckon? Yeah. That's what he's after. You know who is after the Elder Wand. This is it. This explains everything. The Deathly Hallows are real. I've got one, maybe two. And you know who is chasing the third, but he doesn't realize. He just thinks it's a powerful wand. Harry? Harry, I'm sorry, but I think you've got this wrong, all wrong. But don't you see, Hermione, it all fits. No, it doesn't. It doesn't, Harry. You're just getting carried away. Please, please, just answer me this, okay? If the Deathly Hallows really existed, and Dumbledore knew about them, knew that the person who possessed all three of them would be Master of Death, Harry, why wouldn't he have told you? Why? But you said it, Hermione. It's a quest. You've got to find out about them for yourself. But I only said that to try and persuade you to come to the glove goods. I didn't really believe that. Dumbledore usually let me find out stuff for myself. He let me try my strengths, take risks. This feels like the kind of thing he'd do. Harry, this isn't a game. This isn't practice. This is the real thing. And if Dumbledore left you very clear instructions, find and destroy the Horcruxes. That symbol does not mean anything. Forget the Deathly Hallows. We can't afford to get sidetracked. You don't believe in this, do you, Ron? I don't know. I mean, bits of it sort of fit together. But when you look at the whole thing, I think we're supposed to try and get rid of the Horcruxes, Harry. That's what Dumbledore told us to do. Maybe we should forget about this Hallow business. Thank you, Ron. I'll take first watch. I open at the close. What is the close? Okay, let's think again. Where could have hidden the Horcruxes?